welcome back to 709 Meridian, an audio commentary podcast. We are your hosts, Dee and Andrew.
Hello.
And we're smack dab in the middle of Freddy Mania today as we ease into the fourth entry of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. This is Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the Dream Master.
The Dream Master, not directed by Stephen Hopkins. It's directed by Renny Harlin. The next one is directed by Stephen Hopkins, which means that he does a bad job because the next one's terrible. So yeah. I misremembered because I wanted it to be Stephen Hopkins and not Renny Harlin. Mm-hmm. Though Renny Harlin does a fine job, and there's some interesting trivia that we can discuss. But yes, and this is actually the Brian Helgeland script. We'll have time to discuss the opening credits because we have a nice long opening credit sequence. I watched it last night to refresh. Yeah, so
alrighty.
1988.
1988. Freddy Mania, because boy oh boy.
Yes, based on the success of this film, Freddy's Nightmares was a thing. So
yeah,
this was a big hit, the biggest hit. 50 million in off of a $6.5 million budget type sale.
Yeah. All right. Let's go see Freddy again.
Let's go see Freddy. I wonder how he's going to come back to life, which we can also talk about. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of Kincaid. Okay. Starting in 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh shit.
I also either didn't realize or had forgotten that these movies are all super fucking short.
Yeah, they're very short, which means they're super tight.
And that's very impressive with this one in particular, because they do a lot in this one.
Because it starts and then it doesn't end where you think it would. And
we just opened, we're doing dream quotes, so we'll have to see if that keeps up. We just had dream quotes from the Bible there. Last time we had a different dream quote. Robert Shea production, Renny Harlin. This is when I was like, oh shit, am I watching the right one? And I was like, there's no way Hopkins would have directed before Renny Harlin.
And this is the first Robert Englund top bill.
Yep.
So Freddy has arrived.
And per Wikipedia, this is the MTV one.
Yes.
Is what they say. And we can discuss the amount of music in it.
Speaking of music, this opener is sung by one of our stars. Tuesday Night sings Running from This Nightmare. She's the replacement Kristen, who was played by Patricia Arquette in the previous movie.
Yes, and Patricia Arquette apparently just did not want to come back. She was doing different things with her acting, is what she said in an interview.
Pretty smart.
Apparently, it was playing a teen mom on a movie of the week where she felt she was getting range. So she wanted to stick with that. I also wonder if it wasn't that they are going to kill her off like a little bitch. Just saying. This one, well, I also love this because, you're like, who the fuck is this chick supposed to be?
Right, if you're so familiar with 3, because by this point, 1 and 3 were the most popular ones.
Yes. You just skipped over 2.
Yeah, 2 just kind of wasn't as revered as 1 and 3.
But what we don't have is we don't have any Flashback, we don't have any setup, but we also need to remember this is sort of as Fangoria and that sort of thing
Oh
was
yeah,
on its rise. So
yeah.
as
All of those magazines covered this.
yeah, so somebody in the theater was like, "No, she was Patricia Arquette in the last one. That's Tuesday night. She's in this one. It's in Fangoria 73." There was somebody in the theater saying that, so you'd be fine.
Hmm.
You had talked about how Nancy's house was going to become the sort of
Yeah.
centerpiece to the franchise, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But we have it again. We aren't going to have um, a lot of Springwood in this, which is funny considering that it is very Springwood centric.
Hmm.
Here we go. We're going to get our writer credit in a second here, and we'll get to talk about that because there's some interesting trivia there, though not very much information, just like vague trivia. Again, who is this? Oh, it's Kristen. She'd be like, be calm, Kristen,
Holy
Patricia
shit.
Arquette.
Cotswinkle.
William Cotswinkle,
Yeesh.
the screenwriter, nope, the adapter
Yeah.
of E.T. and the author of the sequel, Dream of the Green Planet.
Who turned ET into a freakaly?
Isn't
Turned ET into a freakazoid.
E.T. leaves Earth and like watches bad shit happen to Elliot from afar, and there was never a third one? Isn't that basically it?
Yeah, they never continued it.
He also wrote Superman 3 novelization, which was fucking hilarious if you can find it, because it's like from William Coswinkle, the writer of E.T. the Extraterrestrial, parentheses, the novelization. Only he can bring the humanity required to Superman 3. And then it is like the most basic fucking. Because I think the E.T. novelization is actually like an amped up novelization. Superman 3 is some bullshit. It's just a
Yeah,
fucking.
ET is like hard sci-fi.
Right.
Really,
And
just it's very sterile to read.
okay, so
Uh-oh.
yep. So that is how Heather Langenkamp gets pulled in. So we this is one of those sequels, and I'm gonna go into this saying that I stand by my opinion that this is actually like overall the best movie in the
Well, yeah,
series.
of this series, yeah.
Of the series, it's the best. It's very strange because as a sequel to the last one, here we have the Dream Warriors. We talked last time about how they should get a fucking movie, it should be all
Yeah.
about, spin them off. They can fight other dream monsters.
Or something.
Yeah. Or at least let them live through a whole movie um, as the Dream Warriors. Instead, what we get this like direct sequel to the first one, but that doesn't mention the home, doesn't mention Heather Langenkamp, doesn't mention Craig Wasson. Craig Wasson has actually gone to jail for trying to touch one of his female patients who was 16. I'm an endophile. It's different, or whatever. Being drug away, screaming. Um, because that's what he looks like. And then replaced by Greg Henry, who's just like, oh no, I
Oh,
am an endophile. Um, sorry, I like Greg Henry. And yes, I am making that implication by leaving Craig Wasson out of that. But they don't talk about any of that. We don't talk about Springwood. We don't talk about the mythology in the same way. Instead, we basically just have these three characters who are
Yeah, they're just kind of
They're just there.
they really this really leans on you having this have seen three
Yes. And so not having it be
because
Patricia Arquette is weird.
right, and because it's aimed at the young audience, and we know kids saw three.
Right.
I think they were a little more accepting that she wasn't Patricia Arquette because they love the mythology bet more than
Yeah.
the. Okay, now here we have what's his name? Andrews Jones.
Andrews Jonas, I believe.
Okay. He's I mean, David Boreanaz owes this man royalties.
And this guy, I am so how to say this nicely. There are not what you would call very many good performances in this film, but there are also not very many bad
No,
performances
it's
in this film.
very mid.
It's very mid. Tuesday Night does suck, and we will get to it. And
Well,
she,
Tuesday night Tuesday night has Shannon Doherty energy.
maybe
she,
that's it. You've been watching that a lot more than I have. I
yeah,
like forgot
she's
when,
got that off-putting vibe, and this is not
yeah,
a knock, but like you know, she's not necessarily mean, but it's more,
yeah.
get away.
Here we have our sidekicks. Now, we talked about this last time because Brooke Thies would go on to be in Just the 10 of Us with Heather
Mhm.
Langenkamp, where Heather Langenkamp is back playing a teenager. Um, Also, the kids from last time, kids, quotation marks, being in this movie means that they weren't like
Oh
17 or
shit,
18 in the last one. It's Dwayne Davis, yes.
yeah.
Only for this
I wonder if
scene,
he's
though.
a football player.
It's only that scene, unfortunately.
Uh,
And this is after summer school, so it's kind of bullshit that he doesn't have such a everybody you should have paid attention to the bug thing. Um he doesn't have a bigger part.
Holy shit! Look
Look
at
at
that mullet.
this and this fucking beautiful California high school. Just fucking
Oh,
beautiful.
it's Joey, poor fucking Joey. He's mute for the last film and only gets like so many lines a year.
Yep. He talks more in the dream. It's Joey. I asked last time how bad Kincaid's going to get it, and he does get it. He doesn't have a good ending, but at least he has a big set
Yeah,
piece ending. Joey's ending is fucking just
it
tragic and
sucks.
sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, look at this cat. The hair, the somewhere young David Boreanaz is just rubbing his hands together.
And then putting the moose in his hair.
Yeah, and then
Um,
putting it right in his hair.
but yeah, so this guy, the boyfriend, says that the cast like shut him out or something. Like he was not well liked by his co-stars, and he wasn't sure
Wow.
why, according to the documentary, which is
Oh.
the Elm Street Never Sleeps or whatever the big long one was.
Hmm.
However, if this was the energy he was bringing, I can see not wanting to talk about his sensei on breaks. Um, so this is very interesting because this is like we are targeting the Karate Kid
Oh
to
yeah, this is
demographic grown up. So this is actually very smart. You don't see this in Marvel movies. You don't see this in current franchises. They are not trying to age they're not trying to catch some other like they're not trying to catch the aging demographic where they're at. I mean, they were by not being as exclusionary and trying to tell diverse stories, etc., which they're not going to do anymore. So they are catching the little racist demographic where it's at, but trying to like predict what's going to connect with 17-year-olds or something,
Yeah.
that's not something anybody does anymore. Like, whereas this is like, you liked Karate Kid 2? What's up? Here's your guy in the theater who can't shut up about his dojo.
That's not a right sidekick.
The saddest part is if he'd done the crane during his fight scene with Freddy, it would have been fucking awesome.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, that's
So,
right. Alice here.
is gonna daydream.
Wilcox. Yeah.
We're gonna get a couple things out of the way real quick. Lisa Wilcox had to dye her hair red. She is a natural blonde because she wasn't to be confused with Tuesday Night. She won out supposedly over 900 other actresses, including some other people who went on to star in Friday the 13th movies, but nobody else's name is mentioned. So that presumably tells you Lisa Wilcox was the height of their casting call. Also, Lisa Wilcox has come back up in the public consciousness lately. She starred on a reality show called MILF Manor about her and her son trying to fuck similarly aged people in a house. So it's kind of described as, the dregs of reality television. So if you want to catch up with her, you can watch that show. Here is poor Kincaid's final sequence, and I was like, fuck. But we are 15 minutes into it, and so they got to get rid of these folks.
Yeah, they gotta go. They can't keep them.
And so now we are back in the junkyard from the last movie that Kincaid shouldn't know anything about unless Craig Wasson told the kids.
Yeah. He disposed of Freddy.
And the dog is digging up something there, which presumably... Now, we talked in the last one about how Craig Wasson pouring some holy water on the ground. I'm not sure Craig Wasson can sanctify land. But it's never explained.
Remember, he stole the holy water from the church.
I thought the priest gave him an okay at the end. Flaming dog piss, which shows up in the Leonard Maltin review, I believe. Supposedly, the reason it's flaming dog piss is that Renny Harlin ran into James Cameron somewhere, and I believe it's on the IMDb trivia page. James Cameron, oh my God, why can't facetiously asked how Freddy was going to come back this time, and Renny Harlin facetiously replied, "He's going to be brought back by flaming dog piss." The IMDb trivia page is written by someone who loves this movie and loves this franchise. So it has a little bit more personality, whether or not the writing's good. But one of the other interesting things about the film is when they went to hire directors, because they fast-tracked it, they had already started shooting some of the effects sequences. Potentially Freddy's resurrection sequence here, right? Like, they already had the effects guys working on it. Kevin Yeager Dream Quest, they were on it. Um, it's fucking wild how this never really translated over to CGI when it's like the most obvious thing.
The CG's not quite. It's not really there yet.
Well, no, I mean, not at this time, obviously,
Mhm.
but like, and not in the lifetime of well, no, because it's fucking wild that, well, no, New Nightmare, I guess. And then Freddy versus Jason. Because 1997, there's no reason Spawn
Mm.
shouldn't have been, you know, them trying to do something with Freddy in like with CGA
Oh my god,
accoutrement.
Spawn was just. Problem was Spawn was another one that was because it was New Line. It was on a budget,
Yeah,
and it showed. And
it did.
they stretched the fuck out of it, but it
They would have been able to get more money with a Freddy, though. They would have been able to get another Freddy
yeah.
easy.
When your best special effect in a movie is a fucking cape.
That is true. That is, and we're including the gun fu, like
Yeah.
that poor movie.
Mm. Oh,
Yep. And I was like, oh, is he just going to be trapped there for the movie and they're going to try to rescue him and there's going to be like a bit to this?
like that would have been cool too.
Or,
But then
wait
we
for it,
go to
straight to
this.
that and it's over.
Ugh. He
It's too
goes from the
bad
brother who lived to the brother who died first, all in.
first.
Uh,
Um, we also don't have like, so some of the movie is going to involve how Freddy goes from the Elm Street kids to other kids
mhm.
and how that works. Yeah, but I don't feel like they do they definitely don't explain it well, but I also don't think they have like a good sort of
Well, the overall bit was that what Kristen Kincaid and Joey. These are the last of the original Elm Street kids or something.
yeah, and that's not going to like be mentioned until
Mm-mm.
20 more minutes into the movie.
Mm.
Um we have an MTV thing here, which is fucking hilarious. We have not been commenting on the music, but there's a lot of music. I believe this is our Billy
Oh
Idol.
yeah, this was the this is the soundtrack driven Freddy. Matter of fact, during the end credits, we're gonna get you know
3 songs. I watched
soundtrack
the end credits.
yeah
Three
soundtrack
songs.
potpourri,
We're reading Rolling Stone because that's a
the
fucking
sampler.
thing real people needed to do ever in reality. Um,
Oh god, Randy of the Redwoods. This is fucking.
so, but what's funny about this is we didn't establish it was a waterbed before. So
Mm-mm.
was it a waterbed before? And if it wasn't,
Well, I guess it is because
I mean, right. So we're doing this is actually I think our only boobies in this one.
yeah
We're gonna not do that with Lisa Wilcox and Brooke Thies
no.
is gonna be she's a jock. She's a
Mm.
muscle chick. She's a fitness chick. She's not a
So
um
these that's where these got had sort of Friday the 13th sort of beat because these weren't part TNA at all.
yeah,
Like
no.
you get your gratuitous titties and then it's back to it's back to Freddy shit.
Yeah. And that's probably just because they're a little bit later. I mean, well, no, they didn't do it with two. New Line actually, I think New Line basically gave you some titties, but that was it. Like you got a
Yeah,
little bit
it
of
was very
titties,
limited,
and
and it was
then
whoever was willing to do it.
yeah,
So you weren't gonna get right. It like you say, Lisa Wilcox ain't gonna show her titties. So
yeah. This is a real job. Like they are gonna probably the Tuesday. Okay, so Tuesday night also they desperately needed to have like a flashback or a dream with their mom dying and like some establishment for that because here we are getting sort of a 90210. Isn't the next
yeah.
one far more like that? But like this is a network. This is
Oh, this here, yeah, for sure.
16 Candles the series or something, right? Like they tone it down a bit, like, but she's still
Yeah,
got a tragic story, but she's not a poor um type thing. And she's got a brother, something like that. A TV, 30 something for kids or something. But no, because
right,
its life goes on without as much
right.
stuff going on.
It's just a basic family
Yeah,
comedy drama.
it's Family or whatever that fucking show was with Wilford
Oh
Brimley or
yeah.
whatever. Like, oh, we missed them showing a Freddy hand in that tank, according to trivia.
Hmm.
I was expecting Mom to be a cameo. Mom is not a cameo. We are
No,
going to
it's
get.
not what you call it. Who's usually in these? Robert Shea's sister.
I was actually hoping it was going to be Adrienne Barbeau, but it wasn't.
Oh, that would have been
That would have been baller because that's an Adrienne Barbeau outfit. Like,
right. The tight shirt.
um, so for some reason, this smoking is going to be a thing that we're supposed to be paying attention to. That she's like a smoker because of her traumas. But Tuesday night's really bad at smoking, so it's just like, all right. Now the other thing to talk about from the trivia section that I so diligently reviewed. Everybody on the cast says Tuesday Night and Renny Harlin were fucking. They say they weren't. Everybody on the cast says they were fucking.
Oh,
And he gave her extra attention.
huh.
And I'm like, she's the weak link in this fucking movie of mid actors. Be glad he didn't give you more attention then. Like, if that's the situation, be glad he didn't give you more attention. But it's very weird. The movie, I'm like, she's gonna die, and the movie picks up. Like, I didn't remember what happened, but I was like, that's got to be what happens, and that's what happens. Once she dies, the movie picks up like right away. It's very strange.
And it's not. Problem is, you're supposed to feel that too. So
Yeah,
because it's not Patricia Arquette, it's not that hard of a loss.
no, it's just like, and boyfriend and Tuesday night aren't cute together. Here we have Robert England. Was not supposed to trick anyone, right? Like,
No,
okay, good.
like yeah, this it's obvious that
Because England, I don't think he did a out of mass cameo in two, but he did in the first one. He was the bus driver, or in the second one, he was the bus
yeah,
driver.
he's a bus driver.
And I think it continues because he was desperate to do work that did not involve him wearing lots of makeup. And
He looks like Angelica Houston.
yeah, to some degree, that never happened for him.
Now here again, Freddy Mania means we got him. He's not as scary anymore.
No, and I think we've mentioned that like some of the was it in 3? They said that the like threats of sexual violence
Mm,
were England's idea or something. That's not in here. We get a tongue thing, but we don't get
hmm.
any explicit like he doesn't get that creepy with like Brooke Thies when they're killing her in
No,
the gym or anything. Okay, what's interesting is they're covering the Pepsi logo here, but Pepsi is very clearly the product placement in this, except not for the high caffeine drinks. But if we discussed last time, it was Coke last time. So I wonder if there was a soft drink of Freddy that, you know. So here we have them in a diner. What's funny about this is so 88. Oh, we need to talk about poor Toy Newkirk here.
oh yeah, she's another one. I wish they'd have carried her over
Yeah,
because
she's
in the next one she has another black girl sidekick. It could have just had been her. She could have just had survived this.
well, especially because I don't know if this passes the Bechdel test, but it does have like proto girl power type thing. Like Brooke Thies is the jock and she's the
Yeah.
nerd, but they're actually like bros type
Hmm.
thing. And it was, they don't do anything with it. And it's too bad because it's not something I feel like I remember from a lot of these movies.
That's another thing. They traded these good characters again, like the last movie with Jennifer Rubin. They
Right.
traded them for fodder as opposed to just, okay, see those guys he goes over to talk to? One of those dudes could have been a victim or so, it just,
Instead, one of those dudes is the actual hero. We
guy,
just don't know
yeah.
it yet, you know?
Hmm.
We were a team and I didn't go to sleep and keep them safe, but I did actually make them come into my dreams when I was fucking trying to wake Freddy up or something. So we don't address that either. I wonder if the novelization is like really deep. Like,
It was Coswinkle.
no, I bet he didn't do that. I don't think he
He
did the
didn't write it.
novelization. No, I don't think so. It's not his home. It's Nancy's home, you fucking idiot.
I think
Oh,
that was kind of part of the, you know, revision, sort of
I mean, they just never mention it.
retcon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just soft red. We just don't mention Nancy ever again. I don't think.
Mm-mm. Not till New Nightmare?
Yeah.
Or wait, no. I think there's a funeral scene in this. There's a couple of funeral
Oh no,
scenes.
we see her gravestone, but
The
I,
gravestone,
I,
yeah.
I didn't pay enough attention. I don't know if the shot's long enough. I don't know if they're like all the kids from all the movies, which is what it
No,
should
not
be.
all of them, but it. I think it's just the ones from this.
But they don't. What they don't address is that nobody except these people who are in the movie right now are ever going to notice that it's weird that all these teenagers are dying during this movie.
No,
No one else has any other
nobody says
reaction to it.
anything
It's
about the
really,
funerals.
it's really fucking weird. Um, but mom is back from last time, so we have some cast continuity there too. She gets, we'll see it in a second. I still haven't gotten to my blob thing. Um, so the blob was made by the guys who made the third one in 88, same year as this. There's nothing about them coming back in the trivia. They asked Wes Craven to come back, and he said no. or his idea that he wanted to do involved time travel, and they said no. And then the Coswinkle script or story or treatment, nobody says what was in that. They say that Hegland revised it, but they don't say what was in it. And then the co-writer is a WGA pseudonym for Ken and Jim Wheat, the writers of the Ewok movies.
Ugh.
So what is very like this, you don't see this in the Friday the 13th series. But what you do see in this is the screenwriters are actually like, or at least the people who are working on the scripts and pitching it, they're like kids fantasy guy. It's like fantasy in the 80s was actually probably from like what 77, 78 to like
86.
90. Well, for getting things made, but these guys hung out until the mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It was all just like some fantasy thing, and you just go to the same guys that did the kids movies as did the fucking Friday the 13th or the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Because
It's
a lot of
very
those people
weird.
were trying to move around.
Yeah,
Some of those guys didn't want to be stuck in horror.
yeah. And
Especially the makeup guys. You know, they
the makeup guys were desperate to get into
anything
Zemeckis.
else.
Remember Zemeckis when he started doing makeup? They were fucking, because
Yeah.
that was going to win you an Oscar. This wasn't ever going to
Hmm.
win you an Oscar. You could, shit. Um,
This was a stepping stone too.
yeah,
And then you had some of the guys who just stuck around in horror and did like the Charles Band shit, you know, the Full Moon
yeah,
and all that. Fuckers whoever did the Hellraisers till those got cheap.
yeah. Um, so this is funny because this is clearly shot in some like fucking
That's a
park
backlot.
or something. Yeah, it's like the it's very funny. But also Renny Harlin wanted her to be wearing a more revealing bikini, and I'm like, she's
Jeez.
not a fucking
No.
bombshell. That's weird, dude. Like,
No, really, she reminds me of a blonde Shannon Doherty.
yeah, she really does have that. Um, so we don't get the Jaws theme at all. These movies did not have good music. I'm gonna just make that blanket statement. Friday the 13th,
No, it's dated, is what it is. It,
no, because Friday,
seriously,
well, I think we talked
like
about this a little bit with the Friday the
because
13th.
there's a timelessness about Friday the 13th because they use, you know, it was the orchestra. You know, these are more synth, a lot of synthesizers, and it sounds 80s. If that's a
Yeah.
thing.
The last one. I mean, the music is less because there's more original, there's more songs, not original songs.
Right.
There's more
It,
songs.
they have an actual soundtrack
They
as opposed to a
signed
score.
a fucking deal with Chrysalis Records, and Chrysalis
Hmm.
gave them money, and there's
Yeah,
a
because this
bunch
is
of
the one.
Chrysalis artists in this.
This is the one they cross promoted it on MTV. Like
Jesus.
there was a whole special hosted by one of their VJs, and I think the
Jesus
Fat Boys.
Christ.
This is
Yeah.
the one where they have a
Yeah.
song on it. Yeah, so this was really like this is when the the Freddy phone number dropped.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that. Yeah.
This is this was big, Nightmare on My Street, where
Yeah.
good old Will Smith got fucking sued. Yeah, 1080p doesn't do these movies any justice because, a crisper picture makes it look a little more,
Yeah.
it makes it fake looking sincerely. Like a better resolution
Yeah.
doesn't
I
help these
mean,
movies.
no.
Freddy looks like that looks like makeup this
Yeah.
time.
Okay, here's the other thing. And Freddy's like, bring one of your fucking friends into the dream because after I kill you, I want to keep killing kids.
Yeah. Well,
And Kristen's like, no. Well, okay, Alice. And then Alice is going to be like, well, no, okay, uh, this other person. Pay very close attention to the special effects because that zapping thing just gave her magic powers. So she's going to become the
yeah.
Dream Master, though
The
they never
Dream
really
Master.
do anything with it. It's, or like, they actually do, but we'll get to it. But they don't do anything. It's not like they don't deal with the magic of it, I guess.
And here, yeah, the mirror thing
The mirror
where
thing, she keeps every time one of her friends, I'm just going to spoil it because it's really fucking weird. Every time one of her friends dies, she takes something down
yeah,
and she's like incorporated some of their soul, but they're dead still. So it's like really fucking.
yeah, it's a weird. She acquires something from their personality, or
So what we should have here is some like 4
see, look at
minute.
that. That looks like a clip from Angel. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Donald
Donald
Thompson,
Thompson, Nancy Kincaid, Kristen, I
John
assume Joey.
somebody. We should, yeah. It's weird that they put them all together. It's
Right.
weird that, well, my favorite part, oh, well, okay, so at some point we establish that I think his name's, no, it's not Ted. It's Dan, because the
And
actor's
why
name is Danny.
why are the tombstones that close together?
They bought Freddie bought him a shared plot. Don't be weird.
They got
Um,
they have a whole Freddy section of
oh my
the
God, no.
cemetery.
What it was is the people who killed Freddy were all in a cemetery club where they all bought plots at the
Yeah, they all
same.
have a play
Yeah,
on one
they all bought them
side of the
together, and it's
cemetery.
really fucking weird. And it's just a weird coincidence. Um, they actually, because they say in this that Freddy got off on a technicality, but I don't know that the previous movies ever established that he was like charged. Did they?
Ah, they keep it kind of vague.
Yeah,
The
like
actual story's not told until Freddy's Nightmares, what supposedly really went down. Now here we have them looking at video footage of happier times, which makes you wonder how much time's passed since
right.
three in the present in this movie, where Kristen actually went back to being a regular kid.
And so did Kincaid and Joey, which we had not. Well, the
But
thing
they,
that they do a really bad job of in 3 in hindsight is they don't establish how all these teenagers who live in this same small, is it a small town?
yeah.
Um, how they don't know each other if there's only one high school. And this is like,
Well, Kate and Joey were kind of treated like the weirdos. If the one scene early on is any proof,
yeah,
you know.
but that also that I didn't mention, but that scene was actually like a big it was a big miss potential wise,
Yeah.
because like we didn't need to kill them off so fast.
Nope.
And we didn't need to kill them off so soon after one another. Like, there's no reason one of them can't still be helping here.
Mm-hmm.
You still can kill him later, but like, you could have kept him around a little bit, you cheap fuckers.
Oh damn! Yeah, this movie. Jeez,
Oh no,
this is
there's
rapid
no,
fire.
yeah, there's no fucking.
And it just goes.
Oh, did you like Sheila? Cause guess what?
She is another one. I've seen Toy Newkirk and other stuff. Like she had small parts in different worlds. She's really good. And it sucks
Yeah,
that she goes out in this like this. I sent you the one reunion, right? From YouTube, where the panel is her, Lisa Wilcox,
no, you got to send me that.
I think Heather Langenkamp, maybe,
Okay,
Robert Englund, and oh my god, the girl from Freddy versus Jason. Uh, the one who played Laurie. Shit, her name is slipping.
I Monica Keena. You know, I can't
Monica
remember.
Keena.
I can't remember that movie.
Dude,
Hold on.
I have to send it. I
You
don't know if
gotta
YouTube
send.
still
I'm
has it.
looking for it right now.
Dude,
So this actually feels very much like Dreams. Like this feels like they figured out what they were going to do with the dreams,
right.
and what they decided to do with the dreams was do it more like Dreamscape.
Yeah, because that's all it really is. You trap them in some sort of scenario.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of cool where everybody's just still doing what they're doing, and her and Alice are only ones.
And Alice is fucking useless, even though
Right.
she already did tell what's her fuck not Patricia
Oh,
Arquette about the
Kristen.
Dream Master. Yeah. And so like she hasn't applied that knowledge. And the daydreaming does not help at all. That's the end of Freddy being a creep.
Yeah, it sucks that she sort of doesn't figure it out until
Yeah.
everybody dies.
I also feel like what's fucked up is she could have easily lived through that, but still they could have started the scene, right?
Mhm.
Like, and somebody else noticed it.
I know this scared the shit out of a lot of asthma kids back in the day.
I thought it was
Damn.
going to be worse. Also, because it's a movie from the 80s, she wasn't going to be wearing a bra for her death shot. Like,
Right? Headlights all out. Brooke Thies looking like she's about to be in the next White Snake video.
Brooke Thies's character should be Jennifer Rubens.
Exactly. There you go.
She gets clean and becomes a fitness freak, and we can
Right. And just
still do
works
all
the
the
hell
same
out
shit. Yeah.
because she knows she could kick ass now and shit.
Yeah.
Now look at Rick here. Look at his outfit. Now come on. The big long coat.
Okay. So Dan is new to town. We established this in a little bit. By little bit, I mean we've got half the movie left,
Angel, the teenage years.
half of that. So in about 20 minutes, we're going to find out Dan's new to town and should have been fucking learning about all this shit, but wasn't. Nobody goes to the library and looks up the newspaper. Nobody's parents talk to some other parent. Nobody talks about how houses are cheap because all of the Elm Street parents with dead kids moved out. We don't talk about any of that.
Mm-mm. So apparently, Joey and Kincaid weren't part of their clique.
No, and that's fucking weird because what it means is it means Kristen sucks.
Yeah,
Because
she just
none of
dumped them.
these kids actually suck, right? Like we talked about how Brooke Thiessen, Toy Newkirk, it's a
Yeah,
reciprocal
it's Moose and Dilton kind of,
right.
you know.
Like they're the Archies. They seemingly would have invited in.
Well, they're kind of the prototype 90210 clique, a little.
That is a good point too.
They just killed Andrea.
So
Matter of fact, shit, Brooke Thies was on there at some point. Huh.
I wonder what the crossover is between 90210,
Mm-hmm.
Saved by the Bell,
Oh, well.
and Nightmare and Friday the 13th.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people from any of those ended up on something. Like Lisa Wilcox, I want to say she did a 21 Jump Street, maybe.
Oh, Jump Street. That can be in our diagram too.
Yeah. Because that was around the time, 88.
Yeah.
It was still on.
If it was still on. Yeah. Shit, it was on until 90, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that last season was, I don't know if it counts, but
Okay.
last season was syndicated. But it did have an episode with Jada Pinkett. So.
Styles here.
I got some t-shirts I want to sell you.
So, one problem with this is the tired kid makeup's terrible or non existent. Like,
Right, because they either make them look like druggies or they don't look like they're tired at all.
right. It's very weird. And there's like no. Alice is tired and working double shifts to keep herself busy. Like, we're not seeing. I think we do see some fallout from that with the dad, but shitty dad is not in this very much.
No, he doesn't figure into it. Oh, here we go. There's the teacher
Robert
here is
Shea,
Robert
yes,
Shea.
giving one of the least likely high school history lectures ever. Trivia note: Robert Shea never spoke to Renny Harlin during the production. Renny Harlin begged him for the job, got the job, partially because they couldn't find anybody else. Robert Shea didn't agree with the direction he was taking it, which, according to Renny Harlin, was to make Freddy Krueger into James Bond, which I don't think means the same thing to me as it does to Renny Harlin. But Robert Shea was on set every day scowling at him, filmed the cameo without talking to him. And then it was all okay at the end because it made a fortune, and Robert Shea had him over or let him ride to the premiere in the limo with him. So the I actually thought, or I don't know if I thought that they were going to do it, but I wondered why they didn't do it.
Hmm.
If Alice is sucking all the people in, why wouldn't they be populating the dreams with the other people she pulls in? Aren't there remnants?
I think Alice is kind of delayed. She hasn't figured it out.
Well, also I don't think during this one we really see where she's sleeping until the very end.
Hmm.
Supposedly he was going to die in the elevator and then they brought this in
Oh wow.
or something. But they said that the elevator thing costs too much. And I was like, how does an
Yeah, because
elevator
this
thing cost too
this is
much?
definitely a budget death here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, this dude got robbed because you kind of. This is the guy that everybody's supposed to like. So this was the death that was like, man, if the dude that can fight Freddy can get killed.
well, and neither Joey or Kincaid remembered they were Dream Warriors. Neither did Kristen, really. Like, none of that came back. Like, Kincaid pushing the car onto Freddy that's not a
That's the closest.
superpower. Yeah.
Yeah, to him having what super strength or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, the
Yeesh,
flies. Yeah, this sucks.
this was
But
lame as hell.
so do like all of them in a way. Like,
Yeah,
he just got, I mean, Toy
uh,
Newkirk's dad, I believe that's a callback shot to one of the
hmm.
gravestones. I don't remember for sure. It
It's
should all
just
be shot at the same funeral, right? Like, or
it's
cemetery.
it becomes. I think they said at this point in the movies that people started laughing anytime the shot opened at a funeral because like between three and this one, it's just people getting killed showing up at funerals.
Wonder if there's a supercut of all the funerals in the Friday the 13th series. Or that Nightmare on Elm Street. So this is the last daydreaming sequence. We are 56 minutes in. We have 37 minutes to go. Less than that because the credits are really long for all the music. But we haven't had her daydream since Kristen died, or before Kristen died, which we needed, right? Like, because she is going to have a badass, a Ripley arc, is what Renny Harlin
Yeah.
was going for. Which makes me wonder if James Cameron, if he went up to James Cameron and was like, I'm going to do an aliens type thing with the next Nightmare on Elm Street. James Cameron didn't like that or something. Like, Renny Harlin's one of those guys who, when he makes a good movie, it seems like he should always make a pretty good movie, and he doesn't. Like,
No.
it's very weird. Like, his first sort of mainstream success was Die Hard 2, which elevated him to sort of not Donner. I mean, Donner as an action movie director was if Donner's A tier,
Donner's yeah, Donner's kind of the what do you say? Paragon or the blueprint.
right?
They all followed.
And
Like
so
he gave birth to everybody that did shit like the buddy cop shit.
The buddy
and
cop action shit. Yeah. Renny Harlin was solid B tier. Like, he
yeah,
got to solid B tier. But then you will see some of his other shit and you will just be like, oh, did somebody, can he not, was there not a Finnish translator to tell him what the script was saying with some of it? And then other time, but like, I've still never seen Cutthroat Island. Like,
no, me neither. It's been on too, but I
yeah,
never
I
sat
mean,
and
that
watched it.
shit, they dropped that onto streaming, I feel like real fast. Like, I think that was one of the first movies Tubi ever had. Uh,
Okay, so here comes the scene
yep.
where
I was waiting
Alice
for the
starts to
fish to
show.
die. I was waiting for him to die.
She's gonna start showing some skills here.
Yep. She or the stunt man in the wig, but was the stunt man in the wig Jonas Andreas or Andreas Jonas?
Hmm.
Because was he like, I can fucking do it? Wait for it. Wait for it. Where
Right.
is it? Come on.
Because aren't the hands gonna be huge? Look at that.
Yeah, I think we might actually go between stuntmen. Like, I think
Yeah, look at his shoulders, Alice.
I think like we started maybe with a stunt woman, and then we cut to a stunt man
Oh,
with
man,
the
yeah,
zoom in, which was actually good work. Good work. Good transition work there. Okay, this guy's not Matt Craven. Matt Craven would have been too young to be their dad, but I feel
yeah,
like Matt Craven should like, he's probably too old now, but like he should get in on an Elm Street TV show or something.
yeah. He would have been great as the dad, or somebody's dad in Scream or some shit.
So we really miss a chance for dad to know about Freddy somehow here, which is fucking weird. Again, like how big is Springwood supposed to be? Like,
Well, it's small town.
but it can't be because none of these people have ever heard of anything that's ever happened in the town in the other movies.
Because they're working on like that Friday 13th type timeline where some people know about Crystal Lake, and then there's the Forest Green era,
Oh yeah.
you know? So
Okay,
this
so
is kind of the Forest
he
Green era. Springwood knows how to keep shit quiet
why wasn't there a scene with Dan moving to town at the beginning or something?
or to
Olive's,
establish more
yeah.
clearer that,
Okay, so here is Brooke Thesis' extended death sequence, plus a song by Sinead O'Connor and MC Light
oh,
eventually.
I always wondered if she was wearing a wig in this, Brooke Thies.
Hmm.
That's a lot of hair.
Didn't she have a lot of hair in Just
Yeah,
Animals?
she
That
had
was
big
kind of her
poofy
thing.
blonde
Yeah.
hair. Yeah.
Fucking 80s hair, man.
Oh wait, this is I actually kind of like this sequence.
Yeah. But it feels like it should be, look at the pseudo Friday the 13th poster on the wall. It feels like it should have been earlier. Like this set piece should have been like one of her early dream sequences instead of like kicking off. Act Three, basically. Because what we've really poorly established is all of the surviving teens are going to team up at Debbie's to figure out their plan for taking out Freddy.
Reefer madness.
Mm-hmm. But wait, that doesn't look like Reefer Madness. That looks like Nancy Thompson's house. Oh no, it's not. It's the Crave Inn Diner, which I didn't actually get when I watched it last night. I didn't get that it was a Wes Craven homage. I was just like, oh, that's interesting because there's a fucking place called the Crave Inn now, I think.
This here would have been so cool in a Poltergeist movie.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's your Pepsi, right?
Yep. Pepsi Cola.
Now, everybody who's sitting in the theater, I think at some point, I think that's her brother
No, they
trying to,
change it.
they change it?
Changes.
Okay.
Yeah, it changes to everybody in the audience. It took me fucking 100 views to notice that.
Because I was like, are we supposed to notice it changes or did they just not really figure that out in time?
But that's where a
There's
clearer picture
Joey,
helps. See, there's
yeah,
Kincaid back there.
sister, Toy Newkirk, and
There's
Tuesday night bringing that
yeah.
level of quality. Um, but we just had like a Wizard of Oz thing. That's cool. Like it's weird that we don't have more of that. Like, mm,
Now this is clearly the same set. I wonder if they shot this first
cleaned it up.
and then cleaned it up, or did they shoot the other shit?
You're gonna fucking work here forever, loser. This is actually before Back to the Future 2 as well, folks. So
Mm. Give up on your dreams. Yeah.
don't wor- don't worry, Lisa Wilcox. You won't work at the diner forever. You'll go to MILF Manor.
Oh, 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 oh. God. And I got leftover pizza too.
Mm-hmm.
Yum, 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 yum. Oh,
And she does right away. Right?
yeah.
Like that's what's fucking amazing about this is. See?
Yeah.
Like basically these kids are just a better version or a more helpful version of Jesse from 2. Like if Jesse was like, "Sure, I'll be your partner, Freddy." These kids are just like his partner through incompetence.
And the fact that she just doesn't really put it together.
No. Even though Kristen Tell is like screaming about how that's what's happening.
Oh, this was a good one here.
Yeah.
The loop. I remember sitting watching this with somebody. The first time we rented it.
The fucking video's fucked
What's
up.
wrong with the tape? Why I keep rewinding like this? It just played another part, then it went back.
There we go. Going to fucking one of the houses from Halloween.
Mm, yeah. Oh. Yeah, this should have been kind of a fight sequence too.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like they're saying, oh, Freddy came back and he came back just as powerful, if not more so,
Yeah. There's
than
no
he was in the
reason,
last
like,
one.
why did he die? Like,
Yeah, why
there's
give him that
no,
spectacular death
yeah.
if he couldn't even, if it didn't take much for him to work back up? Eh, this is because The Fly came out.
Oh shit, is it? Is it that obvious? Okay, I wasn't even thinking that.
Probably, I would think,
Yeah, yeah.
'cause The Fly was popular at the time.
There's something wrong with the video.
What's wrong with this movie, man?
It's like that time I watched that Star Trek The Next Generation and nothing ever happened. They just played poker. What I like is she doesn't talk to him about how he feels like they've done it before. Like I was like, oh, are they going to talk about it? No, they're not going to talk about it. But it's okay because this is actually pretty fucking cool. The miniature aspect of it looks like shit in high def, though. Like it took me a while to realize that she was supposed to be
Oh,
small.
this is homage to Franz Kafka.
You got to admit, that's pretty impressive that they were able to, they did that and they didn't make it too gross. It's like this one is
Yeah.
showing off that you can do slimy gore without it being like too bloody and too far out there, even though you've still got the legs on there and shit. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. So he's turned Brooke Thies into
A roach.
cockroaches. Okay. I don't think we ever see Debbie's body.
No.
The Dream Collector. But now it turns out
Yeah.
they were asleep. So why didn't anybody think it was a good idea to have them sleepy at any point during the car trip? Like, because I'm like, is this still a dream? No.
They're trying to shake it off.
Despite them, they're going to go both ways, but forced perspective or whatever. This is not going to be a dream sequence.
Even though the harsh light.
Mm-hmm. And like they're gonna be doing extreme shit. Yeah.
So now Alice has become Sarah Connor.
Yep. Ripley, dude, not Sarah Connor, Ripley.
Oh, that's
Maybe
right.
James Cameron saw this and got the idea for Sarah Connor from this. Yeah. Who knows?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, see, there you go, Renny Harlin. We think James Cameron stole from you. I feel like this hospital's been in some other. I don't think that's a hospital set. Okay,
No, that hallway doesn't. The
why is
hallway's too
her
narrow. See
her
that?
drunk ass dad made it to the hospital to check on her? That's like a fucking college or some shit. What is that? That's not a hospital, dude. What the fuck?
That's a police station. That's what it looks like.
I mean, we have not seen a sign that said hospital.
Nope.
Like, we don't have sign
That's a
money, man.
courthouse.
And now here we are. Oh, with him going down the hallway that seems like it's forever. But no, because she's going to go home and get fucking get armored up. Hitting the trash cans, fucking Frank Drebin over here. But this isn't a dream. This is just she's awake.
Yeah, this is it.
They really could have had the hypnosil back. Like having a
Right.
school
No,
counselor.
it could have been longer. It
Yeah.
would have been longer if they'd have
Oh, okay.
put all of that.
The goal is 93 minutes with
Yeah,
70
they were
million
trying to
credits.
just
Okay.
crank this out for the
All right.
kids, which is why the next one is garbage because
Okay.
they did this. This was a hit, you know, for this was successful for Nightmare on Elm Street terms.
I
That
mean,
that line of
50 million in 88 is successful for anybody. Like, nobody's
yeah.
complaining about that. I don't think Robocop made more than 50 million.
And there
Like,
was there was competition with the other ones too.
this
Michael Myers that just
showed,
came back.
yeah, and this thing kicked their asses, despite trivia saying that all of them were
Right.
number one the weeks they came out.
This was the biggie because it
You could
just
get normies to see this one.
hmm this really snowballed into bigger things for Freddy. Uh, the TV show and all the appearances on shit and
Okay, so he's out. Is that some of the problem with New Nightmare that in high def the new makeup just looks like the
yeah,
old
it looks
makeup?
rubbery. Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks like it doesn't look goopy like part two.
yeah.
It just looks rubbery. The next one it is really bad. I think the next one and Freddy's Dead were probably the worst. Although
Okay.
I did like the design of New Nightmare,
Yeah.
the Freddy in that one. The bulky sort of with the coat.
Yeah. Now, this was also shot during the 1988 writers' strike, so lots is ad libbed.
Mm. Yeah, so they let England do what he wanted to do.
But it's when you take that into account, that's very impressive. Like,
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm fading away. You have to get back to the future.
I'm really your son, Alice.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. When she fucking tells Kristen about the Dream Master rhyme, she does not, I swear she does not tell Kristen she doesn't remember it. It just seems like they forget about it.
Mm,
It's going to turn out that she didn't remember the rhyme, and that's why she couldn't save the day before the end of this fight scene.
mm. Oh, that's right. The smoking and the gymnastics
Mm-hmm.
she got from Kristen. She says fucking A. That's Kincaid's catchphrase.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not clear at all what she got from Joey.
No. She likes blondes with big tits. It just hasn't come up. Like,
The martial arts is from her brother.
yep.
The gadgetry is what's her face?
Toy Newkirk. Yep.
Toy Newkirk. Yeah. Uh, I guess her supposed strength. She's got super strength. Could be from either Kincaid or Brooke Beast.
So what they're going to talk about in the dialogue that you better be paying attention to is, yep, and bonsais, what the brother said. Um, Freddy, and this is actually the set. She's the Dream Master, the guardian of the light door, and Freddy is the Nightmare Master, the guardian of the bad door.
Mm.
And that's what the layout of this scene is. Like the set is built for that, yet they don't talk about it a lot. So basically, when something shoots without the Writers Guild, what I think's weird, and I wonder if it's like part of, I don't know, arbitrate, not arbitration, but part of like the contract is like if you knew you were filming during the writer's strike, why wouldn't you just shoot a bunch of over the shoulder shit
Mm.
and have the writers loop in some expository dialogue later?
Mm.
Just saying. Because Toy Newkirk said in that Nightmare Never Ends or whatever that documentary, the long one, she
Gotta
said
watch
they
that.
she said they made her looper dialogue to sound more urban.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
that's what she said. And I'm like, I mean,
I mean, there's only the
what
one.
does
I
she
think there's
sound
one
like?
line.
Yeah, what does she sound like without that emphasis? Like,
There's only one line where she's like, "Girl,"
yeah, yeah, it'd come back for that. Yeah. Okay, so here's the rhyme.
Oh yeah. So Freddy gets taken out like Momra from the Thundercats.
Now, I think they imply, or maybe they even say, that some of this Dream Master thing is from the Coswinkle story, but it doesn't. I want to read the Coswinkle treatment. I'm very curious because
Mm,
nobody says what it is. Now, this is basic, fucking full moon. This is what full moon wishes
yeah,
it
this is
could
what they
be.
became.
Like,
This
oh,
a
now you know
sequence.
to fucking make him slimy. Look at that.
A sequence like this would have to have Jeffrey Combs involved somehow. Eventually,
Yeah.
him or Bruce Campbell.
This is
Now,
also,
one of those bodies is '80s scream queen Linnea Quigley.
yes, credited, I believe. Um, but this also like
Oh,
has
yeah,
some
there she goes.
poltergeist vibes.
Right. Yeah, this is. I can see Reverend Kane going out like this.
Yeah. And so
What you call it?
now,
Little Zelda taking him out. Uh,
like the Wicked Witch, but we don't do that until Freddy's dead, right? Like, doesn't Freddy's Dead have a big, or no, that's New Nightmare that has the witch imagery. Um,
right.
I always like get some aspects of those two confused, and it's usually that Freddy's Dead is just fucking god awful. And I misremembered
Yeah.
something good in New Nightmare being in Freddy's Dead.
The next one is bad, but yeah, Freddy's Dead. It's just you wonder how that just passed muster at all. Even then,
Yeah. Freddy's Dead starring Roseanne Barr is doing hip hop and dreadlocks with white supremacists from Canada now.
oh,
So
mm,
probably too bad she didn't die at some point earlier in life.
it's probably coming soon.
Okay, so there's the gate. So she just went through the gate of light, and now the movie's over. We don't get any more funerals, which is upsetting to me personally.
Mm-mm.
Really? You haven't? We haven't noticed any of that.
Yeah, Danny here is kind of a lunkhead.
Yeah.
And here we are with a possible allusion to the next movie with the
Yeah.
lady pushing a stroller in the back.
Watch real close though. Did, that was Freddy. Didn't you notice that? Um, well, Danny says he didn't think he was going to be back for the next one.
Hmm.
So he was surprised when they continued their story.
Hmm.
I do not remember the next one. It's fucking hilarious how I do not retain these movies at all, even the one I
The
like.
next one is just that's why there's a reason why this one, three, and this one are probably the most remembered because
Like,
any
this
of the
is
rest of them just kind of mold together.
okay. So 87 minutes without credits. And then we don't actually have any stars, alphabetical um, cast list there. Uh,
No, 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 no.
Everybody settle in. We got some sitting around to do here. It's a long
Oh
ass
yeah,
time before the song,
we're gonna
too.
feature the soundtrack because
Well, is it the Fat Boys first? Michael DeLuca. Supposedly, Michael DeLuca requested Brian Hegland do a treatment, and there's a story about Brian Hegland doing it over Christmas or something. Um, I don't
This
know,
is such
like
a corny ass song too.
88.
God.
I wonder what Sinead O'Connor, the rest of her first album sounds like.
Mm.
This is Sinead O'Connor. This is the Sinead O'Connor song.
Is this before Shave Head Sinead O'Connor, or was she like
I don't know
pop
what she was.
star?
I don't know what I don't know what I don't remember her before Prince. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah. And I have not done the research
uh,
because yeah, it's
not even.
fine. It's not
Yeah,
not curious. Um Chrysalis Records is still apparently in business, which was surprising.
that
Um
was Huey Lewis and the News's label, I think.
yeah. Yeah.
Warner
Um
Hollywood Studios.
the Super Loopers did additional voices. That's fun. Um
Jake the Dog.
so yeah, so the next one would also be a Rush job. I
Yeah,
think Hegland wrote it. I might actually watch it tonight and just get that done with.
it's super short, I think. Like probably even shorter than this.
Yeah, I might do
Because this
that.
here, like you say, this here is mostly the goddamn in credits because they're doing it Scorsese style.
They did the
Okay,
last
here
one
we go.
Scorsese style too, though, right? They're
I think
always
so.
padding these fuckers out. I like how the catering
Yep.
companies all now sound like edible companies. Is this
This
a yep.
this was the official Freddy song of '88 because Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Jazzy Jeff did "Nightmare on My Street," which was not authorized by New Line, and this song went to the Fat Boys, who actually had, you know, Robert England do his rap and appear in the video chasing the Fat Boys as Freddy Krueger. Oh, we forgot to mention the Freddy doll, which came out around this time. Uh, the '80s were cool for kids our age then because rated R movies were popular with us. So, so because rentals and cable viewing, they knew who was watching, and they released toy lines of things like Commando, Rambo, RoboCop, and Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy got a doll,
was it
a talking doll, and
was it like
I think it
Cabbage
got,
Patch Kid size?
no, it was like a ventriloquist dummy, kind of,
Oh, okay.
you know, and yeah, it caused the controversy, and I think it got snatched from the shelves, much like the alien figure. Oh, here we go. The super pop song. Let's
Yeah.
go west.
Go West did some they were a fucking they
They were
did
the
one of the
soundtrack group.
they were a soundtrack group also of Pretty Woman.
Yeah. Oh, baby.
Fucking A, Sinead O'Connor wrote that song. Okay. Oh my God. I'm curious. I'm kind of curious. I'm not going to
No,
do it. I'm not going to do it.
do not go down that rabbit hole.
Go down the rabbit hole. Oh, based on, oh, I'm sorry. We wait until, we name the inn after Wes Craven or whatever, the diner after Wes Craven, but we have to get to 1 hour, 33 minutes and
Oh yeah, based on
9 seconds to get to his based on credits. I mean, we don't want to give you any money, Wes Craven, but
well, everybody was still kicking him in the nuts over Deadly Friend because that was supposed to be either the next big thing for him or, it was just going to be what it was pretty much. So,
I won't be necessarily mean. Every fucking movie he made, maybe until New Nightmare, was supposed to be the next big thing from him.
yeah, because
Like,
he kept getting drawn back to, the damn
fucking.
horror.
Okay, so I have not seen Serpent and the Rainbow in
Oh, man.
27 years, so I don't know how that one is.
Yeah, that's old school.
But Deadly Friend was supposed to be the new shit. Shocker was supposed to be the new shit.
But he
People
really
Under the
gave up.
Stairs was supposed to be the new shit.
That's why I say there's a whole story behind Deadly Friend where he didn't want it to be what it was, and they brought in other people after he just said fuck it.
What? I'm sorry. I have assumed that what's this fuck? John Landis directed Vampire in Brooklyn until this moment today. I'm sure
Really?
I've forgotten this. Yes, I thought it was Landis. I thought it was him
No.
and Landis. I didn't know it was Wes Craven.
Yeah. That was kind of the hook to it.
Okay.
Like actually, shit, I'm gonna try to find it. There's an Arsenio interview where it's maybe a year before uh, Vampire Brooklyn drops, and Eddie Murphy says like there's a whole bunch of different people that were going to be in it. And I forget if he says Wes Craven is going to direct it or not, but it was totally different. But he was like really hyping it up. It's weird how it actually turned out from what he described it to be. But he was right about one thing. He did play multiple characters.
And Warner Brothers lost the original cut of Deadly Friend. So making it the second or the first of Wes Craven's two movie. Well, third. Or God, who knows how many? Because there's still the fucking Swamp Thing starring Ray Wise that nobody can agree how much of that shot with him in costume. And then Cursed is the one that they totally redid. And they
The werewolf one.
Yeah. So
piece of shit.
I always assumed it was a piece of shit. I remember though they were like, I mean, the first version was a piece of shit too. So yeah. But yeah, so next time is The Dream Child.
Yeah.
Directed, we're gonna guess, by Stephen Hopkins. Written, I'm pretty sure, by Brian Heggeland. And it was a flop.
It was a flop, and it was the exact moment where we go from Freddy mania to Freddy overdose.
Yeah. So
yeah, join us when we say farewell to the first, almost farewell to the zenith of Freddy's popularity.
Because Freddy's Dead is going to be like a pseudo legacy sequel and shit, like to finish it off, like, and then we can talk about how nobody seems to care that the home video version's shorter than the theatrical version, but we'll wait. It's very weird. It's very weird. Though apparently the first time the uncut Nightmare on Elm Street's ever been released in the US just happened. There's 3 more seconds of Amanda Weiss in the hallway or something. Like,
the hell?
yeah. Somebody was like, the uncut version. The uncut version's like 4 seconds longer. It's not even like the Scream uncut version, which actually is different. Like it actually does have a little bit different vibe thanks to I think the Wes Craven cameo isn't in the R-rated version or some shit.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Dream Child next time Lisa
Yeah,
Wilcox is
Dream
back.
Child Part 5. Yeah, Lisa Wilcox is coming back.
Is it a
What's his
boy
face?
or a girl? Yeah, Danny's back. Because I'm just saying, much like Medium is a shadow sequel to Dream Warriors, is MILF Manor going to be a shadow sequel? Dream Child. Oh, gross. All right, folks.
Oh shit. Good night, y'all.